What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we are looking at Pinnacle Cup Championship 2022. If you didn't see my Ego App Fantasy video and want to hear more about which teams I think are going to do well and which teams not that much, you can go check that out. At least at the start I talk about some of the teams who I think are going to do better than others. But in short form, I think Heroic, Astralis, and Big are the three teams I favor the most in this one. We should check definitely which players are the most picked. Refresh the most picked player by a good amount is a bit surprising. How cheap is he? 190. So yeah, I guess if you want to go double Heroic, you usually want to go for refresh. I can understand that. Config for 205 makes a lot of sense. I can't disagree with that. Then some of the other Heroic and Astralis players, and then Tizian squeaks in there as well as the by far cheapest player from Big, who are like that makes a lot of sense to have like Tizian as your fifth player. So I can't disagree with that either. But the format is pretty simple, just two groups, top two go through into the playoffs. And the playoffs are actually more interesting than I thought. There's Group A for the first places, play for a slot at the grand final. Then we have second places, play for a spot against the loser of the first place. Okay. So you definitely want to get players from... Yeah. You just want to get the group winners. It doesn't really change what you want to do. Fantasy wise, because you just want to get the group firsts in your squad, and then the fifth player from another team that just gets through here. And or do you want then yeah you do want your third player from a team that gets here as well. It's better to go like 2 and 1 here than 3 and 1, 3 and 2 than to go 1 and 2 or 0 and 2 here. Yeah, makes a lot more sense. Who do I want? I think I want Farley. Config. Like for this price, I can't see myself not wanting him. Do you want Glaive or Zip? Maybe one of the other. I think Glaive has higher potential upside than Zip right now. Glaive is pretty picked. I mean, it's very hard for me to pick anything too special in this event. Like the only thing would be to go for one EG player, one of the cheap EG players, but I can't make myself do it. Like I've done it a couple times and it's always bitten me in the ass, so not gonna do it anymore. So Blamaf is actually picked a pretty good amount. I don't think I can make myself, but he would, oh my god, he would be so good. He would be so good though. FNX, no, Tizian is 180. Tizian is pretty expensive. No, I don't think that this is a Blama fantasy. Could be Far League. Refresh. At least a pretty good amount of money. Do you ever want to go for like a Crimbo instead of Tizian? I think there's a world where you don't want to have Tizian and you instead want to just go for these decent players. Almost Crimbo money. Tessus, Cadian. So like with Shush you can get Crimbo, almost Tabsen even. This becomes pretty enticing. Man, 1 grand of Tabsen here. Tabsen would be sick. Actually really sick. What about roles? So we need to have an Opera. Either Far League or Cadian. So then we could go for Glaive, Tessus, Refresh. Even have Searson money? I don't think Searson's the pick. I also don't think refresh is probably the pick here. But this has tabs and money. Shush, KDN, Glaive, config, Tabsen. So main op KDN, IGL Glaive. Then it becomes a bit more interesting, right? Probably entry config, CT rating, Tabsen, and Shush support. Probably like that. I mean, this looks like a pretty sick lineup. KDN's form has been on the up. Shush has been pretty consistent. Glaive's kind of down, but I think he definitely can still have pop-off performances, whereas I don't think Zipnex is very capable of that anymore. But I would almost want to have more faith, like more. Do I want to have more stock in Astralis? Like like after the group stage, I don't think I want to have more stock in Astralis. I just want to have them pump points in the groups. I think config's probably good enough. I don't think I can really go for Blamaf. Or like if I do, I'll keep this in mind. But can I have a Blamaf lineup? I think it's then not a config lineup anymore. Then it's something like this. 187. There's no one really for this price. So it most has to be a Glaive lineup. 204 is a pretty awkward position as well, money-wise. $172. So you can get Rush. No. I like the lineup I had before. I think I'm going with that. It was this, this, and this. So it's weird to have the most expensive player from the 5th team. It really is weird, isn't it? But I guess the players on these top 2 teams are just, apart from Stavn and Blamaf, they just are cheaper. They just all are pretty cheap in comparison to like big players, apart from Tizian, of course. Like the only option I really see is to go for like a Tizian lineup. You can get all of EG players for 188. And then we could go Tesses. So this would use our money a bit worse, but we would have more faith in Astralis and Heroic, I guess. Blamaf has just been pretty crazy. Damn. It's pretty hard to choose actually between these lineups. You do get some of the more expensive players on Heroic apart from Stavn. What if it's a Stavn tournament? And config? There's no AWP on this lineup. What do we do then? CT rating or multi-kill? Probably multi-kill. CT rating or headshots, maybe. This gets very awkward in terms of roles. Also, we have Tizian, who I dislike in fantasy. No, I think I'm gonna go with the lineup I had before. It was looking very, very solid. Wait, what was it again? What did I have wrong? It's supposed to be 211. It was Shush instead of him, right? Yeah. With Tabsen. Tabsen's been great lately. Yeah, I think we go for this. I mean, yeah. I have faith. Like aggressive players for Astralis makes sense to me. Main op, definitely. Is it headshots on config? Or maybe Topsen? Some options here for sure. I think Glaive IGL should be the pick. I mean, Topsen CT rating makes a ton of sense, and then headshots and Shush as probably support. Shush is tough in terms of roles. 71, 93. Yeah, I mean, it has to be support, right? Yeah, but as I said, he's tough in terms. Like, you could go. Actually, yeah, you probably go support Glaive instead. And then IGL Shush. I like that more. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I think Heroic is gonna win this event, I'm not gonna lie. And I think Astralis is gonna get second. And Big is gonna get whatever third is. Yeah, okay. Initial matchups. Who's the KST god? Either Cadian, Shush, or Tapsen. I think it's Cadian or Shush. Probably Shush. He needs to have some boosters on him. It's a best of one, so what else? I guess, I mean, we could go non-KSD first round because of... but when is it gonna get better? It's not gonna get better. It's not gonna get better against anything else. How many do we get to use? So... we should get to use all our boosters. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. I felt like that was probably the case. But then we can use some of these very weak ones on the first round. Like Rambo here. Or Flash Assist is probably... well, actually, Flash Assist is pretty good for Arcadian. But nade kills on Topsen maybe. Makes sense here. What else is weak for these guys? Choke is definitely one that I wouldn't wanna... I mean, are Astralis really gonna choke here? No. I'm gonna save choke for a bit later. Config 30 bomb makes sense actually. You can use that here. What else is not gonna trigger as much? I guess Ace. You can do... wait, was it... no. I'm gonna have Ace someone. Who else was a Rambo guy? There's another 4% Rambo. That doesn't matter really. Okay. Ace would be... I mean, it doesn't really matter who I ace. It could be Glaive just as well. Let's go Ace Glaive. Okay, I think that's fine for like best of one stage. Just use a lot of the worse boosters and then... I guess there's anything worse right now that we're not using. I guess choke, but I would not... like, I don't think any of these teams are gonna choke. Okay. Happy with this. Yeah, there's another fantasy tournament up right now. And I guess I could check those out as well. But yeah, I'll make a video about this. Maybe not today, probably tomorrow. And then I'll just show you this. This was a disaster, of course, if you watched my video. The only saving grace here is Inters. Inters actually carried me to 6 points, which is pretty crazy with with 4 players going out in the first round. I remember someone in the comments of the last video said please don't pick Inters. He's gonna get you like minus however many points, and you're gonna be screwed. And well, we can see Monesi, Twists, Brokey, and Jacks all got quite a lot worse points than Inters here. I was definitely hoping for, oh man, like this is just gonna happen sometimes. At least I got some points for it, I have to say. And of course, a lot of people pick, for example, double FaZe. And of course, FaZe isn't gonna win every event ever. So it's gonna happen eventually that they're just gonna lose. But yeah, let's get on to the next fantasy, of course. You can't dwell on the past tournaments too much. If you enjoy this kind of content, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and you will see all of the new videos I post both on HLTV and Ego App Fantasies. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.